Good morning, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Before we start with this public hearing on the appointment of James Gonzalo, I just want to make a couple of administrative announcements. Those of you that have come here to testify, you can just take your seat up in the front. And those of you that are submitting a written testimony, and if you want to read it up here, that's fine with me. And if you want to send it to my address, and let me just go on with starting this confirmation hearing. The confirmation hearing is now called to order. The time is about 6 minutes after 9. The Committee on Public Safety, Border Safety, Military and Veterans Affairs, Mayor's Council of Guam Infrastructure, Public Transit, is conducting a confirmation hearing today on James M. Caselo to serve as a member of the Guam Contractors License Board. For the record and in conformance with Section 8107 of Chapter 8, Title 5 GCA, the first public hearing notice was sent out on Thursday, October 30th, 2019. To adhere to the 5 working days as a requirement, and the second public hearing adhering to the 48 hours notice was sent out on Wednesday, November 6th, 2019. And in addition, these notices were sent out to the media and posted on the Guam Legislature's website. I just want to first thank James because, you know, with the qualification that you have and the experience being a member of the Contractors License Board, I know that you're an asset to the Contractors License Board. And I just want to thank you for stepping up and taking the challenge to continue being a part of the Contractors License Board as a board member. And, you know, going through the record, James, I just want to say that you have gone through a lot of experience in as far as being a member of the Contractor License Board, because we do need your expertise in as far as electrical engineering and other contractual type of projects. So I just want to thank you for just taking the challenge. And my first question is, are you willing to take this job?
Yes, Senator. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And also, can you just give me and elaborate some of the things that you did when you was a member of the Contractors License Board, some of the accomplishment that signifies your qualification?
I've been with the board for about 3 years now. We've gone through several cases, and as a board member, we have actually resolved quite a few. And we hope to, as a team at the CLB board, to help and solve and mitigate or make resolutions to whatever cases that come before us in the future.
Have you ever been an RME?
I'm sorry, Senator, which one?
RME?
Yes, I was an RME for one Hawaiian company in Synergy Engineering, and they did a lot of military work, Department of Interior work for the U.S. government. Right now, I am an RME for my own company.
Okay, that's good. Very good. So you're still certified RME?
Yes.
Because
yes,
I was
Senator.
an RME also. I used to own my own construction company. I just wanted to find out that because, you know, being an RME, you really have to really concentrate on the type of construction work that is being done on any construction type of work, because you know, it represents being responsible management in as far as the contracting. So one of the problems that we face right now is actually, do you know if we have the numbers required for our, you know, board members at the contractual license board? Because I've been informed several times that we need to expedite this assignment because there's no quorum and people are applying for contractor's license and things like that. Do you think, with you coming in, do you think we meet that to have a, you know, the sufficient numbers of board members so that we can have a quorum every time, you know, we go on a hearing, or the contractor license board go on a hearing and they meet the numbers of members? Do you think we have that with you coming in?
Yes, Senator. Actually, what happened was when we did the transition to the new administration, that was the bottleneck. And right now, we have resolved about new and renewals for contractors. We resolved about 900, more or less, contractors that applied for their licenses.
So we have an outstanding number of 900 that has not been approved for their license?
No. We had approved all the 900 already.
Okay, so most definitely then you have the required numbers, sufficient numbers to go on with approving those license, right?
Yes, Senator. As a matter of fact, we have a good, what do you call this? The good set of people and very professional. And actually, we got Mr. Our AG's office is really supporting us at this time. And also, I've recruited a Juris Doctorate, although she's not yet passed the bar on Guam yet. She does have a JD education background for being an attorney.
You know, James, with your expertise and your experience being a board member of the Contractors License Board, I know we have some issues with H2 workers. And I don't know, because I think the governor has been pushing for that, to send taking the required numbers of workers. And, you know, now that we have the sufficient numbers of board members, but there's one thing that I want to ask you, because I used to own my own construction company, and the biggest problem that I have is going to the Philippines or going to other countries and other jurisdiction to get H2 workers to come in, and that's a hurdle for me, because you know, when you go to the Philippines, or when you apply for additional people to come in, it's not that easy. You know, that the importation of H2 workers is dependent on the federal law and the federal rules that they have. So do you think we still have that problem in as far as getting in H2 workers into our island? Because I know that's a big problem right now.
Yeah, I believe as far as federal government goes, I think that's way out of my league right there. But I think we should have local talent, and we should exploit our local people, because a big help is with the Guam Trades Academy. They're helping a lot of younger folks, younger millennials try to perhaps be skillful in the construction industry.
And you're right. You know, we need to just kind of get our people on island go to training, go to school, and master the carpentry, electrical, and things like that.
Yes.
And I think we do have that on island, that Guam Trace Academy is doing their very best to really educate these people and give them that tool to specialize in construction work. So hopefully, what would be a recommendation in as far as making it easier to bring in those H2 workers? Because I don't know.
Oh gosh. I think we should just ask for the federal government to see, because we are isolated on Guam. I think what I feel, in my opinion, is that they're saying, the U.S. federal government is saying that, you know, they have rampant, you know, what they say, the TNT, the H2 workers that do hide in the U.S. But since we're kind of isolated as an island, I think the federal government should open up the H2 for, you know, the Philippines, perhaps Korea, any skilled labor out of perhaps Thailand, somewhere here in Asia.
It was also mentioned that Australia can be a part of this recruitment for H2 workers, but I don't think it's as easy as I would think. And the thing is, you know, when you apply for H2 workers to come into to Guam, right, for example, because I've done this, you got to base your request for H2 workers based on the proposed construction. So, for example, you have a big construction that you need to undergo. You use that construction for that one particular project.
Yes.
So what happens if, let's say that, because the way I think about this is that when that project is done, they're going to have to go back. So what I'm planning to do is maybe initiate some kind of bill to allow those H2 workers and to allow the owner of the construction company to use that same people, not send them back and put them on another project. Because I think when you ask for H2 workers, I think you can only mention the one project that you have that is going to be ongoing. You don't mention the 2-3 projects that you anticipate, or the number 3 projects or project that you anticipate. You don't do that. You just concentrate on that one project. So what's happening right now with the rule of the federal rule is that when you complete that number 1, the first project that you applied for the S2 workers for, when they're done with that project, you can apply for additional, right? But that takes time again. So in the meantime, some of these people need to go back because, you know, they do have a temporary visa for that. And depending on the project, if you had mentioned, your application mentioned that a project is going to take about a year, so they'll probably give you that 1 year, but after that, they're going to have to go back. So I need your insight, and maybe you can reinforce the way what they were doing is that you send the people back, and we don't want that. That's very costly, especially to the owners of the project, and it was very costly to me. So what I do is, and you know how we use these H2 workers, right? And if you're running a project, and maybe another person, another owner of that project asks you to use some of their people, we let them go, which is not right? But they do that, and I know that you being an experienced guy in construction, that if your friend asks you for additional people to help you out, you would do that.
That's
but,
true, Senator.
Yeah,
Yes.
but you know that's not right? That's
Yeah.
not permitted.
I think, in my opinion, I think the federal government should just open up the H2 program throughout. I mean, for the whole entire Guam construction industry.
And make it optional.
Yes, I mean, just open it up, not just to federal government, perhaps the Guam government, the private sector, because right now I see quite a few ongoing construction works, and we don't really have that much skill set on our island right now. It's really hard to get the
The specialty
required
that
skill
you need.
on
Yes.
Guam, like the carpenters, electricians, the plumbers. It's really difficult right now, even for me, because I do have construction work as well, and people like the construction is being prolonged. It's not being completed on time. So, and also in the case, right now what used to be, say, $120 a day for a skilled worker is right now they're averaging about $150 a day. So, the rate is much higher now to get a skilled person.
You know, one of the things that I faced when I used to run my own construction company is that when you put out your plan, and let's say that your project is going to take maybe for one house, it usually take about 6-7 months, about 5-6-7 months. And the thing is, the owner of that construction company suffers the burden of financial ability, because let's say that your project, your submission of the project is for 6 months and you don't finish, and that's always happening on the island because of the climate that we have. We have rainy season. We only have 2 seasons, rainy and dry season. And if it's dry season, you're okay. But if it's rainy season, that will keep you back in completing the project on time as contracted, right?
Yes.
So, we do have those problems to at least allow and not fine the owner of the construction, because, that costs us a lot of money. You pay so many dollars a day. If you miss so many days of not completing the project, then, you get fined for that.
Yes, Senator, I totally agree, because not only that, it's also a burden onto the homeowner, because that homeowner would have to pay a little bit much higher, I would say 30% higher to, perhaps pay if he was building a residential home, I think his loan mortgage would be much, much higher. I would escalate it to be about 30% higher.
And the other problem, and I know you know this, and the other problem that we face in building or building a house, whatever, some of the owners, right, you go, as the construction owner, you go with the plan, right?
Yes.
And then some of these, the owner of the project, the owner of the house will say, hey, I don't like that kind of tile. You have to take out everything and get the tile that you want. Yes. And they're hesitant to really, if you tell them that there's going to be additional cost for that, say, hey, Perry, I'm doing the very best to finish your house, so can you give me a break? That's some of the problems that we face on this island. That
Yes.
the owner
Yes,
of the not the construction, but the owner of the house will say, can you modify this? I know it's in the plan, but can you modify it, because I want this cabinet to be on this side, and I want the electrical panel to be on that side. Those are the things, and I know you face those kind of problems.
Yes, Senator, that's true. That's part of where we come in, and we try to resolve those issues as part of the CLB. Basically, we try to make amends between, say, the contractor and the client. What I really would suggest is that they do have a written detailed scope of work. And, well, as far as for me, you know, coming from also the government, 24 years I worked with the government. And then I went to private practice. I foresee and I can see those things. And as far as construction, then I have pretty much very well, I mean, I have experience on those things.
Okay, James, I think we're gonna wrap this up. And
Thank you.
before then, I just want to thank the governor, lieutenant governor, for making that right choice, because there's the choice that they make are people that are experienced, are people that knows the problem, are people that can remediate and solidify the problems that we do have. So I want to thank the governor, lieutenant governor, for making that choice, and I want to thank you very much for
Yes,
taking that
Senator.
challenge,
Thank you.
because it's not easy. In closing, I would like to thank all of you for participating in today's public hearing on Bill 18235 COR. And like I said in the beginning, if you have any written testimony, you can send it to my email address, 140 Aspinall Avenue, Bridge Point Building, Hagåtña, Guam 96910. But better yet, because if I'm gonna give you my email address and I want to give you my physical address, you're not gonna find my office. So better yet, when you're going out to, the police station down in Hagåtña, and you're going out to the traffic light to Route 1, right after the post office, that yellow building, Hava Zava, I'm on the second floor. That's easier.
Okay.
Because people come in, where is your office, man? Okay, so I said, okay, just go out there from the police station, going out to Route 1, and you see the post office. Right after the post office, there's one building there. I'm on the other side, the seaside of the building on the second floor, and it's easy to find. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the time now is 9:28, and we can consider this hearing adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator.